When you focus too much on others, you lose sight of what really matters to you. Your energy gets wasted on things that don't help you grow. The more time you spend comparing your life to someone else's, the less time you spend building your own. Their journey is not your responsibility, but your progress is. You can't control what others do or think, but you can choose how you show up for yourself every single day. That choice shapes your peace, your confidence, and your future. Today, we will talk about why focusing on yourself instead of others is one of the most important steps you can take for your mental clarity and emotional strength. Real change starts when you stop worrying about other people's opinions and start listening to your own needs. You'll discover what you truly want, what you truly feel, and how powerful you really are when you give yourself full attention. If you're ready to stop watching others and finally grow into your best self, then let's dive in. Number 1. Start your day with personal goals and intentions. Most people wake up already behind. Not physically, but mentally. The first thing they do is check their phones. Messages, headlines, someone else's life. The brain immediately shifts into reaction mode. And before breakfast is even done, they're already carrying the weight of the world. Expectations, comparisons, distractions. That's the trap. That's where so many lose their power. They let the world decide what their day is going to be like. But you have to understand, when you start your day reacting to other people, you're not living your life. You're responding to someone else's. That's why you feel drained before you even do anything meaningful. That's why it feels like you're running but not getting anywhere. You haven't anchored your day to anything that belongs to you. The difference between people who lead their lives and those who follow everyone else is this: intentional living. It's not about being busy. It's not about running errands or answering messages. It's about direction. It's about deciding where you want your energy to go and being clear about it the moment your eyes open. That's why setting goals and intentions in the morning is not a motivational tactic. It's a survival skill. It's how you stay true to your own life. Your goals give you structure. Your intentions give you meaning. Without them, you're like a ship with no destination. You'll drift. You'll get caught in other people's currents. You'll start living their story instead of writing your own. You've got to start the day with a plan that matters to you. And I don't mean a to-do list filled with errands. I'm talking about personal goals. Who do you want to become? What are you working on today that strengthens your character, sharpens your mind, or expands your capacity? You need a reason to get out of bed that goes deeper than checking off boxes. When you have personal goals, not just work tasks or family responsibilities, you reclaim your day. You stop being a responder. You become the architect. There's a sense of peace that comes when you know what matters most before the world tries to tell you what does. When your mind wakes up with a target, everything becomes clearer. You don't get pulled into unnecessary drama. You're not fazed by distractions. You're not panicked by what everyone else is doing. You've got your own reasons, and that gives you strength. It gives you clarity. It gives you ownership. That's where confidence begins, in those quiet moments where you choose your direction before the noise begins. Now, personal goals don't have to be grand or dramatic. You don't need to conquer the world before lunch. But you do need to set something for yourself that gives you progress. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book that sharpens your mind. Maybe it's walking outside for 30 minutes to clear your thoughts. Maybe it's choosing to speak kindly to yourself for a whole day. The size doesn't matter, the meaning does. The purpose is to remind yourself that this day belongs to you, and you're not here to waste it living someone else's script. When you set personal intentions, you also bring awareness to your values. You remember what kind of person you want to be. Are you aiming to be patient today? Are you focusing on listening more, judging less? Are you choosing to build courage instead of feeding fear? That clarity keeps you grounded when life gets loud. It gives you a filter. When something shows up, a message, an invitation, a challenge, you can ask, does this align with my goal today? Is this helping me become the person I said I want to be this morning? If not, it's easier to let it go. It's easier to say no. It's easier to stay focused. That's how self-trust is built, in small daily commitments to your values. So many people think success is about working harder or longer. But what if the real breakthrough is just being more intentional with your time and energy? Imagine if every morning you asked yourself, what would make today meaningful to me? Not to my boss, not to my friends, not to the world on my phone, just to me. What would give me a sense of progress, of growth, of purpose? That simple question, asked every day, could change the entire direction of your life. It could take you out of autopilot. It could give your life structure and identity. It could help you finally feel like you're in control again. This isn't just about productivity. It's about peace. It's about taking responsibility for your life without feeling overwhelmed by it. When you start your day with personal goals, you shrink the anxiety that comes from trying to do everything for everyone. You focus. You simplify. You become more present. There's less pressure to perform and more desire to grow. You stop measuring yourself against strangers and start measuring yourself against yesterday's version of you. That's real power. That's real progress. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to start the day by asking yourself, what's one thing I can do today that brings me closer to who I want to be? That one decision gives your day direction. And once your day has direction, your life starts to have momentum. That's how it starts. Quiet, small, simple, but consistent. That's how character is built. That's how confidence grows. That's how your life changes, not in one big moment, but in thousands of small intentional ones. This is your life. You've got to stop handing it over every morning to the world before you even decide what you want out of it. You can't lead your life if you keep waking up to everyone else's agenda. You need your own. You need a reason to move forward that doesn't come from likes, comments, or expectations. You need something real, something internal. You need goals that belong to you, dreams that excite you, standards that reflect you. That's the only way to create a life that actually feels like yours. Wake up with intention. Start with personal goals. Anchor your day in purpose. You're not here to wander through life following the noise. You're here to lead it. Start with yourself. The rest will follow. Number 2, limit comparisons and track your own progress. There's a kind of quiet pain that eats away at people, and most don't even realize it's there. It's subtle. It hides behind your scrolling, your thoughts, your silence. You open your phone and see someone else winning. A new job, a fit body, a happy relationship. You tell yourself you're just browsing, but your chest gets tight and your mood shifts. You start feeling like you're behind, like something's wrong with your life. That's comparison. It doesn't come with alarms. It doesn't ask for permission. It sneaks in and starts telling you that your progress isn't enough, that your timing is off, that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. It makes you feel like your life isn't yours anymore. It's been hijacked by everyone else's timeline. Comparison will steal your peace if you let it. It turns your attention outward, away from your own life and into someone else's. Suddenly, you're measuring your journey using someone else's ruler. You stop noticing how far you've come because all you can see is how far ahead someone else looks. But here's the thing, you don't know the full story behind those posts. You don't see the setbacks, the failures, the insecurity, or the doubt that came with those wins. You see the highlight, not the process. And when you compare your real life to someone's filtered moment, you lose twice. You lose joy in your journey, and you lose clarity about what actually matters to you. Most people never stop to ask, why am I chasing what I'm chasing? They don't realize their goals were borrowed from someone else. They start running someone else's race, then wonder why they feel empty when they cross the finish line. The only way to get out of that trap is to start focusing inward. Track your own progress. Measure yourself against who you were last week, last month, last year. You are the only person who knows how hard it was to get here. You're the only one who felt every struggle, every setback, every victory. That's your story. It's not supposed to look like anyone else's. When you shift your focus from comparison to progress, everything starts to change. You start seeing growth where you used to see gaps. You start valuing effort over perfection. You begin to recognize the small wins that used to go unnoticed. That's where confidence builds. In realizing that even if you're not where you want to be, you're not where you used to be. And that means something. That matters. That's progress. Here's a truth most people avoid. Success is not just about the outcome. It's about direction. Are you moving forward, even just a little? Are you becoming more focused, more disciplined, more self-aware? Those things are invisible on a social media feed, but they're powerful in real life. They're what actually transform your future. But you won't notice them if your eyes are always on someone else's journey. You've got to learn how to zoom in on your own steps, not zoom out into someone else's achievements. People talk about growth like it's loud and obvious. But most of the time, growth is quiet. It's not a big announcement. It's a small decision. It's you saying no to an old habit. It's choosing discipline when comfort is easier. It's continuing when nobody claps for you. That's progress. And the only way you'll ever feel proud of that progress is if you start keeping score on your own scoreboard, not someone else's. Start paying attention to what you've actually done, not what you haven't done compared to others. Look at the work you've put in. Look at the changes you've made. Look at how you think now versus a year ago. Write it down. Reflect on it. Document it. Because when you track your own growth, you create real proof that you're becoming who you want to be. That's better than any like, comment, or applause you could ever get from the outside. Comparison tricks you into thinking you're not good enough, but that thought only survives when you forget what you've already conquered. Go back to the moments when you thought you couldn't make it, but you did. Go back to the nights you cried and still woke up and kept going. That's your proof. That's your standard. Keep your focus there. Now understand this, limiting comparison doesn't mean ignoring other people. It means learning to admire without losing your sense of self. You can be inspired by someone's success without letting it question your worth. You can learn from others without feeling like you're falling behind. You can say good for them and still mean I'm on the right path too. That's called maturity. That's called self-respect. That's called emotional discipline. And it will protect your mind in ways nothing else can. If you want to feel real fulfillment, stop looking at how someone else is winning and start asking yourself how you've grown. Did you show up today? Did you keep your word? Did you do something difficult when it would have been easier to quit? That's progress. That's the kind of scoreboard that matters. And the more you track those things, the less space comparison will have in your life. This isn't about ignoring others. It's about honoring yourself. There's a difference between watching someone else's path and abandoning your own. There's a difference between being inspired and feeling like you're not enough. You've got to protect that line. You've got to remind yourself every day your life is not a race against anyone else. It's a journey into becoming the best version of who you were meant to be. Start focusing more on your steps. Track your habits. Journal your effort. Celebrate your movement. If you did something today that made you 1% better, you're on the right track. That's how growth works. Slowly, quietly, consistently. And if you stay focused, one day you'll look back and realize that while others were competing for attention, you were building real transformation. Quietly. On your own terms. That's the real win. When your life becomes a reflection of your own values, not someone else's vision. When your growth is measured by your internal compass, not public validation. When your focus is not on outpacing others, but outgrowing yourself. That's when comparison loses its grip. That's when peace returns. That's when you finally feel like you're moving forward in a way that actually matters. Keep your eyes on your own journey, because that's the only one that will ever truly fulfill you. Number 3, spend time improving your skills and mindset daily. Many people wake up every day with good intentions but fall into routines that don't grow them. The truth is, life is moving fast, and if you aren't moving forward, you're falling behind. Most struggle because they underestimate how much time and energy it takes to build a better version of themselves. Improvement doesn't happen by chance. It's the result of consistent effort, repeated over time. Yet far too often people wait for motivation to strike, waiting for the perfect moment or some external push. That perfect moment rarely comes. Instead, what separates those who move forward from those who stay stuck is a daily commitment to work on skills and mindset. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, but it's the only way real change happens. Improving your skills means you're sharpening your tools for life. Whether it's learning to communicate better, managing your emotions, developing patience, or acquiring knowledge in your field, every small effort compounds. The problem is many people see improvement as something huge, a big course, a fancy seminar, or a sudden breakthrough. But the reality is, most progress comes from small, focused actions that add up every single day. Reading a few pages, practicing a task for 10 minutes, listening to a thoughtful podcast, these things might seem minor, but over weeks and months they transform your capacity. They make you stronger, smarter, and more capable. The same goes for your mindset. Without a mindset that supports growth, all the skill building in the world won't carry you far. Mindset isn't just about positive thinking or repeating affirmations. It's about training your mind to see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and setbacks as temporary. That mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you build by repeatedly choosing perspective and resilience over frustration and defeat. Every time you notice a negative thought or the urge to quit and you decide to keep going, that's a mental workout. It strengthens your brain for future struggles. Far too many get caught up in wishing their circumstances were different. They hope the world will make things easier or that someone else will fix their problems. But the truth is, nobody is coming to do that. The only way forward is to take responsibility for your own growth. It's not always comfortable. It requires discipline. It demands sacrifice. It means sometimes choosing hard work over rest. Sometimes saying no to distractions and yes to practice. Every minute you invest in yourself pays off in confidence, ability, and peace of mind. That's not just success, that's freedom. Most people don't realize how powerful it is to build this daily habit. It's a choice. You can spend an hour today scrolling through distractions, or you can spend an hour sharpening your mind or your skills. That hour might not feel earth-shattering today, but it creates momentum. When repeated over weeks, it builds a foundation you can't see but will feel. You'll notice yourself responding to problems with calm instead of panic. You'll handle tough conversations with grace. You'll be prepared for opportunities that used to pass you by. This is what happens when you spend time investing in yourself every day. You don't just survive, you thrive. Developing skills also builds your sense of self-worth. When you grow your abilities, you stop depending on others to validate you. You become more independent. You realize your value isn't tied to what others think, but what you're willing to work for. That's liberating. It means you can trust yourself to handle life's challenges. You're no longer waiting for approval or recognition because you know the work you're putting in matters. It's something you carry inside. It's real. It's lasting. The mindset part is equally critical. Think about how many times your thoughts have held you back more than anything outside you. Fear, doubt, impatience, frustration, those voices in your head shape your reality. Improving your mindset is about becoming aware of those voices and learning to challenge them. It's about feeding your mind with truths that empower instead of poison. It's about developing emotional strength to face discomfort and keep moving forward. When your mind is strong, you don't crumble under pressure. You don't fall apart when things get hard. You keep going because you believe in the process, even when results aren't immediate. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody is. But you do have to be consistent. The key is making improvement a daily habit, something you do whether you feel like it or not. That's how champions are made. Not by luck or talent alone, but by showing up every day and putting in the work. You don't have to spend hours. Even 15 minutes of focused effort can make a difference. The question is, will you decide that your future is worth that investment? Will you decide to stop wasting time on things that don't grow you? Will you choose yourself and your potential? This daily commitment isn't a punishment or a burden. It's an act of respect toward yourself. It's saying you're worth the effort. It's valuing your dreams enough to work for them every single day. When you do that, you build a momentum that's unstoppable. Your confidence grows because you know you're building the skills and mindset to handle whatever comes. You feel more peaceful because you know you're not leaving your growth to chance. And when you face setbacks, you don't fall apart because you've been preparing yourself quietly every day. Nobody owes you success. Nobody owes you an easy life. If you want to change, you must commit to this process of daily improvement. It's not quick. It's not easy. But it's effective. It builds real strength that lasts. The people who move forward are the ones who take responsibility for their own growth. They don't wait for motivation or perfect conditions. They make the choice to improve a little bit each day. They know it's the steady progress, not the sudden leaps, that create lasting change. Look at your habits right now. What are you doing daily to get better? What skills are you sharpening? What beliefs are you feeding? If the answer is nothing, then that's the place to start. Don't wait for a grand plan or a big opportunity. Take whatever time you can find and commit to growth. Learn something new. Practice a skill. Read a few pages that challenge your thinking. Write down your thoughts to clear your mind. Talk to people who inspire you. Feed your brain and heart with things that lift you up, not drag you down. You deserve a life where you feel capable and confident. You deserve a mind that serves you, not sabotages you. You deserve skills that open doors instead of closing them. That all begins with daily effort. No one else can do that work for you. The path to a better life is made by the choices you make every single day. The choice to spend time improving yourself, even when it's hard, even when it feels small. Those small choices are what add up to a life of purpose, peace, and progress. Choose yourself. Commit to growing your skills and mindset daily. That's the most important investment you will ever make. Number 4. Reflect on your growth instead of others' lives. One of the most common mistakes people make is spending way too much time looking outside of themselves, at other people's lives, their achievements, their struggles, and their moments. It's almost automatic. You glance at a friend's post, a colleague's success, or a stranger's highlight reel, and suddenly your mind drifts into a comparison trap. But what happens in that moment? You lose connection with your own story. You start focusing on things that have nothing to do with your actual progress or struggles. That disconnection is dangerous. It takes your power away. It dims your vision. It slows down your growth. The reality most people don't see is that no one else's life holds the answers to their own. Every person's path is unique, shaped by experiences no one else fully understands. When you spend your time reflecting on others, you're distracting yourself from the only thing that really matters, your own development. It's like trying to fix a broken watch by looking at a different one. You'll never make progress if your eyes are always elsewhere. Growth happens when you slow down and turn your attention inward. Reflection on your own journey is the key to real change. It requires honesty and courage. You have to ask yourself questions most people avoid. Where have I been? What have I learned? What mistakes did I make? And how did I respond? What strengths have I discovered in myself? This kind of reflection is not about judgment or criticism. It's about understanding. It's about seeing your life with clear eyes, the good, the bad, and the in-between. When you do this, you start to notice patterns. You begin to see how your choices have shaped your results. You see where you're growing and where you're stuck. That awareness is powerful. It gives you the chance to make changes from a place of clarity, not confusion. It allows you to set goals that are truly your own, based on your values and vision, not on someone else's achievements. Reflection creates a deeper connection with yourself. It helps you appreciate how far you've come, even if the progress seems slow. You start to realize that growth is not about sudden leaps or comparisons. It's about steady movement forward. Many people avoid this kind of reflection because it's uncomfortable. It forces you to face truths about yourself that you'd rather ignore. It means admitting when you've fallen short or made mistakes. But that discomfort is necessary. Without it, you'll never grow. You'll just repeat the same cycles and wonder why things never change. Real reflection leads to real growth because it's honest. It's raw. It's real. When you focus on your growth, you develop resilience. You understand that setbacks are part of the journey, not a sign of failure. You learn to celebrate small wins because they're evidence of progress, no matter how small they seem. That celebration fuels your motivation. It reminds you that every step forward counts. It builds momentum that carries you through the tough times. Another benefit of reflecting on your growth is that it helps you build self-compassion. When you stop comparing and start looking inward, you treat yourself with more kindness. You realize that you're doing your best with the resources and knowledge you have right now. You stop beating yourself up for not being someone else or not having someone else's success. Instead, you honor your own unique journey. This self-compassion is essential for long-term success. It creates a mindset where failure is seen as feedback, not defeat. It frees you from the prison of perfectionism and unrealistic expectations. When you reflect on your growth regularly, you build a healthier relationship with yourself, one that supports learning, patience, and persistence. Reflection also sharpens your focus. When your mind is cluttered with other people's stories and comparisons, your goals become blurry. But when you focus on your own progress, your vision clears. You can identify what really matters to you. You can prioritize your time and energy on actions that move you forward. This clarity leads to better decision-making and more consistent effort. In today's world, distraction is everywhere. Social media, news, constant notifications, they pull your attention outward all day long. It's easy to get caught in that current and lose sight of your own growth. That's why carving out time for reflection is crucial. It can be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each day to think about what you learned, what you achieved, and what you want next. Writing in a journal, meditating, or even having quiet moments alone can make a big difference. Reflection isn't a one-time event, it's a habit. The more consistently you do it, the more connected you become with yourself. You start recognizing your own voice instead of the noise from the outside world. That connection builds confidence because you trust your own judgment. You start to live by your own standards instead of chasing someone else's approval. Remember, your growth is your responsibility. No one else can live your life for you. No one else can walk your path or face your challenges. When you take time to reflect on your own journey, you own it fully. You understand that every experience, good or bad, is part of your story and your growth. That understanding makes you stronger and more determined. Reflection also helps you break free from the trap of envy or jealousy. Instead of envying someone else's success, you start to appreciate your own progress. You begin to feel grateful for the lessons and strengths you've gained. That gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. It fills you with peace instead of frustration. People who focus on others' lives often feel powerless because they compare what they don't have to what others do. But when you focus on your own growth, you reclaim your power. You take control of your story and your future. You become the author of your own life, writing chapters based on your efforts and values. Growth reflection is also the foundation of meaningful progress. It prevents you from drifting aimlessly through life, reacting to circumstances without direction. Instead, it gives you a compass. It guides your actions. It helps you stay aligned with what truly matters to you, not what others expect or celebrate. No matter where you are right now, reflection can change everything. It doesn't require big changes or radical moves. It only requires a commitment to look inward honestly and regularly. When you do that, you'll notice a shift in how you see yourself and your life. You'll feel more grounded, more focused, more capable of handling challenges. When you build this habit, you create a strong foundation for everything else: your goals, your relationships, your happiness. It becomes easier to make decisions because you're not influenced by the noise of others' lives. You're connected to your own values and progress. That connection gives you a deep sense of peace and purpose. The moment you start reflecting on your own growth instead of other people's lives, you take back your power. You reclaim your peace. You unlock your potential. That's not wishful thinking. It's reality for anyone willing to look inward, be honest, and keep moving forward no matter what. Your life deserves that kind of attention and respect. Your growth depends on it. Number 5, celebrate your wins no matter how small they are. Life has a way of overwhelming people with expectations. There's always something bigger to achieve, a next level to reach, a new goal on the horizon. This constant chase makes many forget to stop and recognize what they've already accomplished. It's easy to overlook the small victories and only focus on the big ones, but this mindset can slowly chip away at your confidence and motivation. When you fail to celebrate your wins, no matter their size, you rob yourself of the energy and encouragement needed to keep going. That's a harsh truth many don't realize. Progress is made up of countless tiny successes that add up over time. Missing these moments means missing the fuel that keeps your fire alive. The reality is, life isn't about sudden, monumental breakthroughs. Those moments are rare. What most people experience are small wins: getting through a tough day, finishing a task you procrastinated on, learning something new, or making a better choice than you did yesterday. Each of these achievements is a step forward, a sign that you're moving in the right direction. They are proof that you are capable of growth, change, and progress. Yet, so many people brush past these wins as if they're insignificant. The truth is, no win is too small to celebrate because it carries within it a spark of hope and motivation. Many people tie their self-worth only to major accomplishments, and when those don't come, they feel like failures. That mindset is toxic. It sets the bar too high and ignores the journey. Celebrating small wins is a way to build self-trust and remind yourself that progress is happening. When you recognize and honor your efforts regularly, you create a positive feedback loop. Your brain begins to associate effort with reward, making it easier to keep going when the path gets tough. When you take time to acknowledge your victories, you tap into the emotional power of accomplishment. There's a unique feeling that comes with recognizing progress, a feeling of satisfaction, pride, and encouragement. It fuels your belief in your abilities. That feeling triggers motivation, which often makes the next steps less daunting. Without celebrating, that cycle breaks down. You might work hard but feel like it's all in vain, and eventually you give up. Celebrating your wins also keeps you focused on what you're building, not what you're missing. It shifts your attention from scarcity to abundance. Instead of looking at what you don't have or haven't achieved yet, you're reminded of what you've gained, the skills you've developed, the hurdles you've overcome. That perspective is essential for staying positive and resilient. When you're grateful for your wins, big or small, you build a mindset that is flexible and hopeful rather than defeated and stuck. This doesn't mean you become complacent or stop striving for more. It means you honor the process. You respect the effort it takes to grow and improve. Every small win is a building block for bigger success. When you celebrate, you're acknowledging that progress is not just about the destination, but also about the journey. That makes the work itself more meaningful and fulfilling. It's important to realize that celebration doesn't have to be grand or complicated. It can be as simple as giving yourself a moment to smile, writing down your achievement, sharing your success with someone who supports you, or treating yourself to a small reward. The key is to consciously pause and recognize your effort and progress. This intentional act rewires your brain to see your journey in a positive light and helps you stay committed. Ignoring your small wins is like trying to drive a car without checking the fuel gauge. You might be moving forward, but you don't know how much energy you have left. Celebrating your achievements refills your emotional tank. It gives you a sense of accomplishment that boosts your confidence and reminds you why you started in the first place. Many people struggle with feelings of inadequacy because they compare their progress to others. When you celebrate your own wins, you create a strong internal foundation that is not shaken by others' opinions or achievements. You become less dependent on outside validation because you recognize your own value. This internal validation is crucial for long-term success and mental well-being. There's also a powerful social aspect to celebrating your wins. When you share your progress with others, you build a support system that encourages and motivates you. Celebrations create connections and positive reinforcement, making your journey less lonely. It's a reminder that growth isn't a solitary task. It's something that thrives in community and encouragement. Celebrating small wins teaches patience as well. When you focus only on big outcomes, it's easy to get frustrated and give up. But recognizing small victories shows you that growth takes time. It builds endurance. You learn to appreciate the gradual climb and understand that every step forward counts, no matter how slow it seems. Patience becomes a natural byproduct of celebrating progress. It's natural to want quick results, but real, lasting change takes consistent effort over time. Celebrating your wins reminds you of that truth and keeps you steady. It anchors you in the present and reinforces your commitment to your goals. Without this, it's easy to lose hope and stop trying. The way you celebrate matters too. It should feel genuine and meaningful to you. If you celebrate by simply acknowledging your progress in your mind, that's a start. Writing down your wins in a journal or telling a trusted friend can deepen the experience. Celebrating should feel like a reward for your hard work, something that uplifts you rather than feeling forced or fake. Many successful people attribute their persistence and growth to this simple practice of celebrating small wins. It's a habit that rewires your brain to focus on growth instead of failure, on progress instead of perfection. This mindset keeps you moving forward even when the road is tough. Don't wait for the big moment or the perfect achievement to celebrate. If you do, you risk never feeling successful. Life's wins are scattered in the everyday moments. Acknowledge them. Appreciate them. Let them build your confidence and fuel your ambition. When you learn to celebrate every win, you develop a sense of pride and gratitude that supports your growth and peace of mind. It reminds you that you are making progress, that you are worthy of recognition, and that your efforts matter. That awareness creates a positive cycle that pushes you forward and makes the journey not only bearable, but rewarding. You deserve to feel proud of yourself every day. Celebrating your wins is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to do that. It's a practice that strengthens your mindset, increases your resilience, and keeps your spirit alive. If you want to focus on yourself instead of others, start by valuing what you've already achieved. Honor your journey by celebrating every step forward, no matter how small it may seem. That is how you build a life of grow. Number 6. Set boundaries that protect your energy and peace. There is a harsh reality many face every day. Without clear boundaries, your energy is constantly drained and your peace becomes fragile. People around us, whether family, friends, co-workers, or even strangers, can unknowingly or sometimes intentionally pull at our time, attention, and emotions. If you don't set limits, you will find yourself overwhelmed, frustrated, and exhausted. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it's necessary. It is one of the most important acts of self-care you can practice to stay focused on yourself rather than being lost in the demands or dramas of others. Every person has a limited amount of emotional, mental, and physical energy. Once it's spent, it's gone for the day. If you don't create boundaries, you risk spending that energy on things that don't serve you or align with your goals and values. This leads to feeling worn out and empty. The sad truth is, many people wander through life giving too much to others and too little to themselves. It's easy to fall into the trap of saying yes all the time, trying to please everyone or avoiding conflict. But when that happens, you lose sight of your own needs and well-being. The first step to setting effective boundaries is understanding what you value most and what drains you. When you clearly know what supports your growth and what pulls you away from it, you can make conscious choices about where to place your energy. Boundaries are not about shutting people out or building walls. They are about defining what is acceptable and what isn't. This clarity brings peace because you stop wasting time on things that hurt you or distract you from your path. Setting boundaries means learning to say no without feeling guilty or explaining yourself endlessly. It means recognizing that your time is valuable, your emotions are important, and your goals deserve priority. Many people struggle with this because they fear rejection, conflict, or disappointment. But when you fail to protect your energy, the cost is much higher. You lose your focus, your motivation fades, and your mental health suffers. Boundaries are not a barrier to connection. They are the framework that allows healthy relationships to grow. One of the biggest challenges in setting boundaries is dealing with the reactions of others. Some people may resist your limits or push back because they are used to your availability. Others might take it personally or feel offended. This is a natural part of the process. You cannot control how others react, but you can control how much power you give their reactions over your peace. Protecting your energy means standing firm in your boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable, because you know that without them, you lose yourself. A powerful way to start setting boundaries is to observe your feelings throughout the day. Notice when you feel tired, stressed, or irritated. These emotions often signal that your boundaries are being crossed or that you are overextending yourself. Instead of pushing through, pause and ask yourself what you need to protect your well-being. This awareness builds emotional intelligence and helps you make better choices about where to invest your time and energy. It's also important to communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully. People can't respect limits they don't know exist. When you express your needs honestly, you invite understanding and cooperation. You might say something like, "I need to focus on this project right now, so I won't be available for social activities this week." Or, "I'm unable to take on extra tasks because I'm prioritizing my health." Clear communication reduces confusion and resentment on both sides. Boundaries don't have to be rigid or permanent. They can shift as your priorities and circumstances change. What matters most is that you remain conscious and intentional about them. The moment you stop protecting your energy is the moment you lose control over your life's direction. Boundaries are the invisible guardrails that keep you on track and guard your inner peace. Another critical aspect of boundaries is learning to protect your mental space from negative influences. This could mean limiting time spent with people who drain your joy or avoiding media and conversations that stir up anxiety and doubt. Your mind is a garden that grows whatever you plant. Boundaries help you decide what seeds you allow in and what weeds you pull out before they take root. Setting boundaries also improves your productivity and focus. When you say no to distractions and demands that don't align with your goals, you free up space to concentrate on what truly matters. This kind of focus is a major advantage in any area of life, whether it's career, personal growth, or relationships. Energy spent well multiplies your effectiveness and brings results that matter. Without boundaries, you might find yourself exhausted by the expectations and needs of others, feeling like you're running on empty but still trying to please everyone. This not only burns you out, but can also lead to resentment towards others and yourself. Protecting your energy is an act of respect for your own life and journey. It's a way of saying that your peace and happiness matter just as much as anyone else's. Many people confuse setting boundaries with being rude or selfish, but that's far from the truth. Boundaries are about self-respect and respect for others. When you clearly define your limits, you communicate to the world that you value yourself and your time. This kind of respect often invites more respect in return. It's important to recognize that boundary setting is a skill that takes practice. At first, it may feel awkward or uncomfortable because it challenges old habits and fears. You might worry about disappointing others or creating conflict. But as you practice, it becomes easier and more natural. The relief and peace you experience will reinforce the habit. You will notice that when you protect your energy with clear boundaries, you become more present and engaged in your own life. You start to feel stronger mentally and emotionally. Your goals get more attention, and your relationships become healthier because they are based on mutual respect rather than sacrifice and exhaustion. Setting boundaries means giving yourself permission to say no to anything that drains you, disrupts your peace, or pulls you off course. It's about choosing to spend your energy on things that nourish your soul and bring you closer to your goals. This is how you focus on yourself in a way that builds strength and resilience. The people who respect you will understand and support your boundaries. If they don't, it may be a sign to reconsider the role they play in your life. Protecting your peace means sometimes letting go of relationships or situations that are harmful or draining. This isn't easy, but it's necessary for growth. Energy is your most valuable resource. You must guard it fiercely. Boundaries are the way you do that. They allow you to stay centered and focused, avoid burnout, and maintain a sense of peace in a chaotic world. When you prioritize yourself by setting clear limits, you build the foundation for a life where you control your time, your emotions, and your progress. This is not just about saying no, it's about saying yes to yourself. Yes to your health, your dreams, and your happiness. Setting boundaries is the cornerstone of a life lived on your terms, free from unnecessary stress and distraction. It's how you protect your energy and create space for what truly matters in your journey. You owe it to yourself to create and maintain boundaries that protect your peace. This practice is essential to focusing on yourself and making meaningful progress. Without it, you give away your power and risk losing sight of your own path. Number 7, journal daily to stay connected with yourself. Many people wake up and rush through their day without ever really checking in with themselves. It's as if they live on autopilot, reacting to whatever the day throws at them, but never pausing to understand what's going on inside. That disconnection can leave you feeling lost, overwhelmed, or stuck. When life moves fast, it's easy to lose sight of your own thoughts, feelings, and desires. This is where journaling daily becomes a powerful tool. Writing down your thoughts is not just about putting words on paper, it's about staying connected with yourself in the most honest way possible. A lot of people think journaling is only for writers or those who want to record their life stories. That's not true. Journaling is for anyone who wants to clear their mind, process emotions, and gain clarity on their path. When you write regularly, you create a private space where you can be completely yourself without judgment, distraction, or pressure. This practice helps you better understand your own mind, spot patterns in your thinking, and make sense of your emotions. It's like having a conversation with the most important person in your life, you. When your mind is cluttered with worries, fears, or endless to-do lists, it's hard to focus on your goals. Journaling gives you a way to release all that noise. Writing about what's on your mind calms your thoughts and brings your feelings into the light where they can be examined. This awareness is key to personal growth because you can't improve what you don't understand. Daily journaling helps you identify what's holding you back and what fuels your motivation. It's not about writing a perfect essay or spending hours each day. Even just a few minutes of honest, clear writing can change the way you experience your life. When you put your thoughts on paper, you take control of your inner world instead of letting it control you. You become more mindful of what matters and more aware of how you respond to challenges. This self-awareness strengthens your focus and your ability to stay on your own path, rather than getting caught up in distractions or other people's expectations. Journaling daily also builds emotional resilience. Life throws tough situations at everyone, and it's normal to feel stress, anger, or sadness. Instead of bottling these feelings up or letting them overwhelm you, writing them down gives them a place to go. It's a safe way to express what you're feeling, to reflect on why you feel that way, and to explore solutions. Over time, this process helps you manage emotions better, preventing them from sabotaging your peace and progress. Many who start journaling discover something surprising. They begin to notice their own growth. When you look back at your earlier entries, you see how far you've come, the obstacles you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned. This reflection fuels confidence and motivation because it proves you are capable of change and improvement. When you focus on yourself through journaling, you build a record of progress that no one else can take away from you. Journaling also strengthens your decision-making skills. When faced with choices, writing about your options, fears, and hopes helps clarify what's truly important. It slows down impulsive reactions and opens the door to thoughtful, intentional action. This kind of clarity is critical when you want to stay focused on yourself and your goals. It prevents you from getting lost in others' opinions or the noise of the world. A simple way to start is by writing about what you want to accomplish each day, how you feel about your progress, and any obstacles you encounter. You can include your hopes, worries, or anything else on your mind. The key is to be honest and consistent. This daily habit becomes a mirror reflecting your true self back to you, keeping you grounded and aware. When you write down your thoughts, your brain processes them differently. Writing forces you to slow down and organize your thinking. It transforms vague feelings into clear insights. This mental clarity allows you to approach problems with a calm mind rather than reacting emotionally. Over time, this habit creates mental space for creativity and solutions rather than stress and confusion. For many, journaling becomes a form of self-discipline. It requires showing up for yourself every day, even when you don't feel like it. This commitment is an act of self-respect and self-love. It sends a message that your inner world matters and deserves attention. Consistent journaling builds a stronger connection to yourself, which is essential for personal growth and maintaining focus on your own journey. The practice also helps reduce anxiety and overwhelm. When worries pile up inside your head, they can feel bigger and more intimidating. Writing them down shrinks those worries, making them manageable. It's like unloading a heavy backpack. You feel lighter and more capable of moving forward. This relief allows you to redirect your energy towards growth and positivity instead of fear and doubt. Journaling can also improve your gratitude and mindset. Taking time each day to write about things you appreciate shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. This simple habit rewires your brain to see opportunities and blessings rather than obstacles. Gratitude creates a foundation of positivity that supports your efforts to focus on yourself and build a better life. People who journal daily often report feeling more connected to their purpose. Writing clarifies what matters most and aligns your actions with your values. This connection to purpose gives meaning to your efforts and makes challenges easier to face. When you understand your why, distractions from the outside world lose their power over you. It's important to keep your journal private and safe so you can be truly open. Knowing your thoughts won't be judged or shared creates a space for honesty. This freedom deepens the connection you build with yourself. The more honest you are, the clearer your self-understanding becomes. Over time, journaling becomes a trusted friend that listens without interruption. It captures your dreams, frustrations, victories, and doubts. This relationship with your inner self is a powerful foundation for mental strength and focus. It reminds you that you are your own greatest resource. The benefits of journaling grow the longer you do it. At first, you might not see immediate changes, but persistence reveals profound shifts. Your mindset sharpens, your emotions stabilize, and your clarity increases. These changes make it easier to stay focused on your own path instead of being distracted by others. Daily journaling is an act of self-connection and self-empowerment. It's a habit that feeds your growth, keeps you aligned with your goals, and nurtures your peace. In a world full of noise, this quiet conversation with yourself is a powerful tool to stay centered and committed to your own life. Writing down your thoughts every day strengthens your focus and reminds you why you are on this journey. It helps you see the progress that might go unnoticed otherwise and gives you the confidence to keep moving forward. This connection with yourself is the foundation of true success, happiness, and fulfillment. When you take the time each day to journal, you invest in your most important relationship, the one with yourself. This daily habit protects your peace, sharpens your mind, and fuels your growth in ways that nothing else can. It keeps you rooted in who you are and who you are becoming. Number 8, learn to say no without feeling any guilt. Many people struggle with saying no, and it's not because they don't want to. It's because they're afraid of disappointing others or being seen as selfish. This fear creates a trap where your time and energy get drained by things that don't align with your true priorities. The truth is, saying no is one of the most important skills you can develop if you want to focus on yourself and your own growth. When you learn to say no without guilt, you create space for what really matters, and that's where real progress happens. The challenge begins with understanding that every yes you give to someone else is a no to yourself. When you say yes out of obligation, fear, or guilt, you take time and energy away from your own goals, your health, and your peace of mind. This constant giving without limits slowly wears you down. You start to feel exhausted, overwhelmed, and resentful even if you don't fully recognize it. You owe it to yourself to protect your energy and honor your limits. Many people confuse saying no with being rude or unkind, but that's a misunderstanding. Saying no with respect is an act of honesty and clarity, not selfishness. It's about setting boundaries that allow you to be your best self. When you say no without guilt, you are saying yes to your well-being, your dreams, and your personal development. It takes courage to say no, but that courage creates a foundation for a healthier, more focused life. The guilt that comes with saying no often stems from wanting approval or fearing rejection. This is a natural feeling because we are social beings, wired to seek connection and acceptance. But the problem is, if you constantly sacrifice your own needs to please others, you lose sight of who you are. Over time, this can lead to frustration, burnout, and even loss of self-respect. The more you practice saying no, the easier it becomes to detach your self-worth from other people's opinions. Saying no also means being clear about your priorities. When you have a strong sense of what matters most to you, it becomes simpler to decide what to accept and what to decline. It's not about shutting down opportunities, but about choosing the ones that serve your growth and align with your values. This clarity prevents you from spreading yourself too thin and ensures your energy goes toward what truly counts. Many successful people use the power of no to protect their focus. They recognize that every commitment requires time and energy, and they guard these resources carefully. Saying no is a strategic choice, not a reaction. It's a way of managing your life rather than letting it manage you. This mindset shift from feeling guilty to feeling empowered changes everything. Learning to say no also improves your relationships. When you set clear boundaries, others know what to expect from you. This honesty builds respect and trust. People appreciate when you are straightforward rather than overcommitting and then failing to deliver. Saying no allows you to be fully present and genuine in the commitments you do make. To get comfortable with saying no, start small. Practice with low-stakes situations where the consequences aren't as big. Notice how it feels when you decline a request or turn down an invitation. Pay attention to the relief or discomfort that comes up. Over time, you'll build confidence and learn to express no in a kind, firm, and clear way. It's helpful to remember that no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a long explanation or excuse. Simple phrases like, "I can't commit right now," or "this isn't the right time for me," are enough. When you keep your response short and to the point, you reduce the chance of opening the door for negotiation or pressure. Many people also feel guilty because they imagine the other person will be upset or disappointed. This fear can hold you back. The reality is, you are responsible for your own well-being, not other people's feelings. If someone respects you, they will understand your limits. If they don't, it's a sign you need stronger boundaries. Saying no protects you from being drained by people who don't respect your time. Saying no doesn't mean closing yourself off. It means choosing your yes carefully. When your yes is thoughtful and intentional, it carries more power. You're more likely to follow through and feel good about your commitments. This leads to better results and less stress. A big part of learning to say no is understanding your worth. When you value yourself, you recognize that your time and energy are precious. You become less willing to give those away lightly. This self-respect changes how you approach every request that comes your way. Sometimes people feel pressured to say yes because they want to avoid conflict. But avoiding conflict often creates bigger problems later. Being honest and saying no respectfully can actually prevent misunderstandings and resentment. Clear boundaries keep relationships healthier in the long run. When you say no without guilt, you create room for self-care. Taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it's essential. Without boundaries, it's easy to neglect your own needs and feel drained. Saying no protects your mental, emotional, and physical health. It allows you to recharge and come back stronger. Learning this skill also strengthens your decision-making. It forces you to evaluate your commitments critically. You stop reacting automatically and start choosing consciously. This awareness is crucial for maintaining focus on your goals and not getting distracted by everything else. You can also use this practice to grow your confidence. Every time you say no, you prove to yourself that you can take control of your life. This builds inner strength and resilience. Over time, you become less dependent on others' approval and more confident in your own choices. It's important to remind yourself that saying no is a form of respect, both for yourself and for others. When you overcommit, you often can't give your best. This does a disservice to everyone involved. Saying no when necessary means you're showing up fully when you do say yes. Many people feel trapped by their own inability to say no. This creates a cycle of overwork, stress, and dissatisfaction. Breaking that cycle requires conscious effort. It starts with recognizing your right to say no and practicing it regularly until it becomes natural. You don't have to be harsh or unkind to say no. Politeness and firmness can coexist. You can acknowledge the request and express appreciation, then clearly state your boundary. This approach maintains goodwill and protects your time. The longer you wait to learn this skill, the more opportunities you miss to focus on yourself. Time is limited and energy is finite. Protecting these resources is essential for your success and happiness. People who master saying no often experience more peace in their daily lives. They feel less overwhelmed and more in control. This peace creates a strong foundation for personal growth and well-being. In moments of doubt, remind yourself that every no you say is a yes to your future. It's a yes to your goals, your health, and your happiness. This mindset can transform how you view boundaries and empower you to live a life true to yourself. Practicing saying no is one of the clearest ways to show up for yourself. It's a commitment to your own needs and growth. The freedom and focus that come with this skill open doors to new opportunities and deeper fulfillment. Start today by noticing where you say yes out of obligation or guilt. Choose one situation to say no with kindness but firmness. Notice how it feels and what changes. This small step sets the foundation for a life where you put yourself first without apology. Number 9. Replace jealousy with curiosity and self-improvement. Jealousy is a feeling that many people face at some point, and it's one of the most uncomfortable and draining emotions there is. It sneaks in quietly, often when you see someone else achieving what you want, or when life seems unfair because others appear to have more. This feeling is real, and it's natural to experience it. But what makes all the difference is how you respond to it. When jealousy takes over, it blocks your growth, wastes your energy, and keeps you stuck. The key to breaking free is not ignoring jealousy or pretending it doesn't exist, but replacing it with curiosity and using that energy to improve yourself. The moment you notice jealousy rising inside you, you have a choice. You can let it consume you, or you can turn it into a signal, a sign that there is something worth learning or striving for. Instead of feeling bitter or envious, you can become curious. Ask yourself, what exactly is it about that person's situation that I admire? What can I learn from their journey? Curiosity shifts your focus from what you lack to what you can gain. It turns jealousy from a negative emotion into a powerful tool for growth. Jealousy often comes from comparing yourself to others, and comparisons rarely paint the full picture. You see the success, but not the struggle. You see the highlight, but not the hours of work, failure, and sacrifice. When curiosity takes over, you start to understand that behind every achievement there is a story full of lessons. This understanding helps you stop resenting others and start learning from them. It opens the door to possibilities instead of closing it with resentment. Turning jealousy into curiosity requires honesty with yourself. It means admitting what you want without shame. Sometimes jealousy masks unspoken desires or dreams you've been avoiding. Instead of burying those feelings, use them as fuel to define what you truly want. This clarity is a crucial step in focusing on yourself. Knowing what you want is the foundation for making real progress. The next step is using curiosity to take action towards self-improvement. Instead of wasting time wishing you had what others do, focus on developing your own skills, habits, and mindset. Ask questions like, what habits helped that person get there? What mindset shifts do they have? What skills should I work on to move forward? This active approach puts you in control and shifts your energy toward building your own future. Jealousy can also tell you about your values and priorities. When you feel jealous, it highlights what matters most to you. Use this insight to align your daily actions with those values. When your actions reflect what you truly care about, your motivation grows stronger. You become less distracted by what others have and more focused on what you are creating. Replacing jealousy with curiosity also helps you develop gratitude. When you stop comparing and start learning, you begin to appreciate what you already have. Gratitude isn't about settling or giving up on your dreams. It's about recognizing your own progress and the resources available to you. This positive mindset fuels persistence and reduces the emotional drain jealousy causes. Many people fall into the trap of believing that someone else's success diminishes their own. This is simply not true. Life is not a competition where only one person can win. There is enough opportunity and success for everyone. When curiosity guides you, you start to see others' achievements as inspiration, not threats. This mindset creates collaboration instead of competition, which leads to more opportunities and support. Jealousy also often triggers negative self-talk thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I'll never get there, or they're luckier than me. These thoughts are lies that keep you stuck. Curiosity breaks this cycle by focusing on learning and growth rather than self-judgment. When you ask constructive questions, you build a habit of positive thinking and solution-finding that moves you forward. This shift from jealousy to curiosity strengthens your emotional resilience. It teaches you to manage your feelings without being controlled by them. Emotional resilience is essential for any kind of personal development because setbacks and challenges will always come. The ability to respond with curiosity rather than bitterness makes you stronger and more adaptable. It's important to remember that curiosity doesn't mean you have to imitate others or lose your uniqueness. It's about gathering insights and inspiration while staying true to yourself. Everyone's path is different, and curiosity helps you carve out your own way with confidence and purpose. Practical steps can help you cultivate this mindset. When you feel jealous, pause and breathe deeply. Acknowledge the feeling without judgment. Then ask yourself what you can learn from it. Write down the answers and make a plan to work on those areas. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to respond differently to jealousy. Another powerful way to replace jealousy with curiosity is to surround yourself with people who inspire and support you. Being around positive, growth-minded individuals reinforces your desire to improve rather than compare. Their stories and advice become tools you can use instead of triggers for envy. Learning to be curious instead of jealous also opens your mind to new possibilities. When jealousy narrows your focus to what you don't have, curiosity broadens it to what you can achieve. This wider perspective allows you to see opportunities you might have missed before. The journey from jealousy to curiosity is not instant. It takes time, patience, and practice. You'll have moments when jealousy still shows up. The difference is that with practice, you'll recognize it faster and choose curiosity more often. Each time you do, you strengthen your ability to focus on your own growth instead of wasting energy on negative emotions. By changing your relationship with jealousy, you change your entire approach to life. Instead of feeling stuck or resentful, you become proactive and empowered. This mindset leads to consistent progress, better relationships, and greater happiness. Jealousy can feel heavy, but curiosity feels light and freeing. It transforms a burden into a blessing. When you choose curiosity, you reclaim your energy and your focus. You start building the life you want with intention and confidence. Every time jealousy arises, remember it's an invitation to learn and grow. This perspective change is one of the most powerful tools to focus on yourself instead of others. Curiosity turns challenges into opportunities and feelings into actions. This shift also helps you build a mindset of lifelong learning. When you view life as a constant chance to improve, jealousy loses its power. You become more interested in your own progress and less distracted by others' paths. Replacing jealousy with curiosity doesn't just change your thoughts, it changes your habits and your results. It creates a cycle where you are always moving forward, always growing, and always focused on your own journey. That is where true success and satisfaction live. Number 10. Focus on becoming better, not being better than. It's one of the toughest battles we face, wanting to be better but constantly measuring ourselves against others. The trap is easy to fall into because we live in a world full of comparisons. Social media, work environments, and even family circles push us to think about where we stand compared to others. But the real challenge, the one that determines true progress and fulfillment, is shifting your focus from trying to be better than others to simply being better than who you were yesterday. This shift changes everything about how you live your life and how you see your potential. The harsh truth is that when your main goal is to outdo someone else, you hand over control of your happiness and success to factors outside yourself. Your mood, your confidence, and your motivation become dependent on someone else's achievements or failures. This is a losing game because no matter how much you gain, there will always be someone ahead or someone catching up. It becomes a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. Focusing on being better than others sets you up for frustration and burnout because it's based on comparison and competition, which are external and unpredictable. Instead, focusing on becoming better means turning your attention inward. It means measuring your progress against your own past actions, choices, and mindset. This kind of focus puts you in control. You become the standard you aim to surpass, not someone else. You decide what improvement looks like for you, and that makes your goals personal, meaningful, and realistic. This way, success is not a moving target defined by others, but a steady climb you own every step of the way. When the focus is on your own growth, every small improvement counts. You start to notice the details, the way you manage your time, how you handle challenges, the skills you develop, and the habits you form. These small steps may seem insignificant compared to someone else's big wins, but they add up. Over time, they create real, lasting change. This approach is sustainable because it's based on daily commitment, not sudden leaps or dramatic comparisons. Focusing on becoming better also frees you from the anxiety and stress of trying to keep up or outdo others. When your attention is on your own development, there's no need to worry about what others are doing. You create your own pace, your own standards. This mindset brings peace because your self-worth is no longer tied to external validation or competition. It is rooted in your effort, your learning, and your progress. This internal focus also opens the door to deeper self-awareness. When you compare yourself to others, you often judge yourself harshly or feel envy. But when you focus on your own growth, you begin to understand your strengths and weaknesses clearly. You can celebrate your progress honestly and recognize areas for improvement without guilt or shame. This honest self-reflection is the foundation for genuine growth because it allows you to make real adjustments rather than denying or ignoring your challenges. The journey to becoming better is unique to each person. It involves setting personal goals that reflect your values and priorities. These goals are not about beating someone else, but about pushing yourself beyond your current limits. This could mean learning a new skill, improving your health, managing stress better, or being more patient and kind. Whatever it is, it's about moving forward in your own life, not someone else's.